Okay, I'm just muting everybody. Right. So let's start. So we're starting. Oh, one other thing. What have I done with mine, actually? I think earlier. If you've got a strap, we might need one later. And if it's a stretchy one, even better, because that's it'll sort of help you to get into your archer pose. So I did have mine. What on earth have I done with it? Never mind. I'll have to make do. Then I'll have to make do with my solid one. You can all do the same if you haven't got a stretchy one. Doesn't matter. So yeah, let's stand up straight and tall. Find your Tadasana. So just have a little rock back and forth on your feet. And then just slowly place your feet back down on the ground so that you feel really grounded here. Spread the toes wide. Your feet are about hip distance apart. Relax the shoulders. And then check in with those knees. We don't want them locking back, so find some softness in the knees. And then just soften your gaze or close your eyes if you can, which can be a little bit of a challenge when we first come to the practice here, especially early in the morning. But if you can manage it, just gently closing your eyes and keeping a control on any sort of swaying that you might get. So try not to make that turn your body into sort of rigid as you're trying to stop that sway, but just see if you can contain the sway so you're finding the strength in your body. Just breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. Just doing that a few times. So today we're going to work on some strengthening standing poses. And our peak pose is archer pose. And I found that really great quote this week by Paulo Coelho. He's written a lot of books. The most famous book was The Alchemist, if anyone's read that. And he says about an arrow, he talks about an arrow that basically the metaphor is that as you draw that arrow backwards, you have to remember that sometimes things feel as though they're going backwards before you can take steps forward. So I liked what he said, that you draw the arrow back before you launch it forward into some exciting new adventures, something good ahead. So if you feel you've had any hiccups, any sort of setbacks over the last, I don't know, couple of weeks or whatever, I feel in that category, to be honest. A few little things. But there's light at the end of the tunnel. We're moving forward into exciting new things, launching that arrow forward. So with your next exhalation, just drop your chin to your chest. Blink your eyes open and lift your head. Welcome to class. So let's get some movement. So take a breath in, reach your hands up and overhead. Just take your gaze to your hands. And as you breathe out, just draw them out wide all the way back alongside the body. Let's do that 3 times, reaching up. Reach into the ceiling, breathing out, bringing them back. Once more, reaching up. And then back alongside the body. Well done. So come to the top of your mat if you're not there already. Let's do a nice warming flow. So standing up straight and tall, reaching up and overhead as you take a deep breath in. Breathing out, take your hands out wide, dive all the way down to the mat. Just come down as far as feels good. So first movement into forward fold. Breathing in, slide your hands up to your shins. Find that half forward fold. Ardha Uttanasana. Send the top of the head out in front of you. Breathing in. Breathing out. Release your hands to the mat. Drop the head towards the mat. So have a bend in the knees now, enough so that you can plant your hands and step one foot back, then another, into downward facing dog. Have a little walk through the feet. Dropping the head through the arms. Easing into the pose here. And just moving your hips from side to side as you do this. Just getting some movement. And then take a breath in. Relax your heels towards the mat. And as you breathe out, take the knees to the mat into all fours. Taking a breath in, plant your hands, send the hips up to the ceiling, back to downward facing dog. Breathing out, back to all fours. Breathing in, downward facing dog. Breathing out, all fours. Last time, breathing in, downward facing dog. This time, as you breathe out, shift the weight forward and come into plank. So remember, we've always got the option of plank on our knees. So just take one breath here, strong plank, gazes to the mat. As you breathe out, knees to the mat, cross your feet at the ankles, take your chin and your chest. Chaturanga down to the mat, release the feet and come into low cobra. So squeeze those elbows in towards the side body. Feel the shoulder blades sliding towards each other. Take a breath here. Toes into the mat as you breathe out, downward facing dog. Just take another deep breath in down dog. And then on your next inhalation, walk your feet all the way to your hands. Uttanasana, forward fold. Just dropping the head towards the mat, just allowing that forward fold to happen. Breathing in, take your hands to your hips and slowly, slowly bringing yourself up. Just taking a breath here. Well done. Starting to get some movement into the body. We're going to do that once more. So just relax your shoulders here, find your Tadasana. Make sure your knees are soft. Take a breath in, reaching the hands out wide, reach up and overhead. Take your gaze to your palms. Breathing out, take your hands back to your side. So 3 of these, just 3 nice stretches. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in, check your knees here, it's easy to lock them. Breathing out. Next time we're going to start moving, so reaching up, breathing out, diving all the way down to the mat. Uttanasana, forward fold. Breathing in, take your hands up to your shins, find that half forward fold. So really lengthen the spine here, send the crown of the head out in front of you. Breathe in, breathe out, Uttanasana, forward fold. Bend your knees, plant your hands, breathe in, breathe out, step your feet back into downward facing dog. Relax those heels towards the mat. Should feel a little bit better now. Breathe in. Breathe out. Knees to the mat. All fours. Breathe in. Up to downward facing dog. Breathing out. All fours. Breathing in. Downward facing dog. Breathing out. All fours. Once more. Breathing in. Downward facing dog. Now this time, breathing in, shifting the weight forward, come to your plank pose, find that strength. Remember, knees can go to the mat. Then take a breath in, breathe out, knees to the mat, cross the feet at the ankles, chaturanga down. Chin and chest slides through, release the feet, come to low cobra. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Well done. Breathe in, toes into the mat. Breathe out, downward facing dog. Just walk your feet a little bit closer if you need to. Take a breath. And then on your next inhalation, walk your feet all the way to your hands. Find that forward fold. Release into it. Take your hands to your hips. Take a breath in. And slowly bring yourself up. Come back to Tadasana. Everyone okay? Good. Nice and little bit of movement there before we start. So from our Tadasana, take a breath in, reach your hands up and overhead. Take your gaze to your palms. And then as you breathe out, just draw the palms together at the heart center. Relax the shoulders. So find some good connection between the palms here. Softness in those knees. Breathing in, floating the hands forward. The palms are facing each other. And as you breathe out, sit back into your imaginary chair. Breathing in, float the arms up alongside your ears. So check in with the position of your knees here. They should be in line with one another. And check in with your lower back. You're going to tuck the back, the butt under. Don't make a strain in your lower back. Breathe in, palms come together. Send your left elbow to your right thigh and twist to the side. Again, check in with those knees. It's easy to drop the left knee forward, so we don't want to do that. Now, as you're balancing here, if you move your elbow, your left elbow out a little bit so that you're resting on the fleshy bit behind the elbow, don't dig into the leg so much. So a little bit of a standing, strengthening balance now. Take a breath in. Just turn your gaze to the mat. And then as you breathe out, your weight is going to go into your right foot. You're going to step the left leg back. Yes, not easy, is it? You have to think about it as you're doing it. Think about sending the weight into that front foot. Step the left leg back. So now we can twist around to the right once more, bringing those hands towards the chest. Really plant the right foot into the mat here. Breathe in. Take your gaze back to the mat. Breathe out. Step the foot back. Well done. Breathe in. Breathe out. Hands down to the mat. Come to Uttanasana, forward fold. Breathing in, half forward fold. Send the top of the head out in front of you. Find that shelf bracket chip here. Breathing in. Breathing out. And then breathing in, take your hands out wide, come all the way back up, reaching up to the ceiling. Breathing out, hands to the heart center. Oh, did that get the breath going? The strong one, yeah, off come the layers. Take a breath here. Good to build strength in your thighs and that one particularly thighs and into the hips and into the buttocks. And if it's done with control, you can do it. That's what yoga is all about. Just find your focus and then you can do it. So standing up straight and tall, relax the shoulders. Breathing in, float the hands out in front of you. Breathing out, sit into your imaginary chair. Remember, tuck that lower back under. Engage the tummy muscles, keep the knees in alignment. Breathe in, hands come together. Oh no, I nearly missed a bit. Breathing out, float your hands up. Breathing in, bring the hands to the heart center. Breathing out, take the right elbow to the left thigh this time. So remember that little tip. Just balance behind the elbow so you're not digging in. Check in with those knees that they're in alignment here. So twisting around to the left, drawing the hands into the chest, trying to bring them into the middle of the chest. Switching around so you can see. I can see you. That's it. So this time, we're going to step the right leg back. So take a breath in, look down to the mat. Send all of your weight into your left foot. Breathing in, breathing out. Send the right leg behind you. And come back into that twist, looking around to the left side. Engage the tummy. That strength. Breathing in. Take the gaze to the mat. Breathing out. Stepping forward once more. Breathing in. Breathing out. Release your hands to the mat. Uttanasana, forward fold. Breathing in, take your hands to your shins. Half forward fold, Ardha Uttanasana. Breathing out, slide your hands back down to the mat. Bend your knees enough so that you can plant your hands. Step the one leg back, then the other into all fours. Taking a breath in here. And then take your knees wide, toes together, slide back into child's pose. I'm giving you a little breather. Standing poses, they're quite strong. They get the breath going, that's for sure. Or maybe it's just me. I'm out of breath. So just rest your forehead down into the mat. Keep your arms extended along the mat in front of you, still getting that lovely stretch. And send the hip bones all the way back to the heels. You're finding length in your spine, even though we're resting here in Balasana. And then breathing in, bring yourself back up to all fours. So tuck your toes into the mat and then just walk your hands back so that you can really work the toes into the mat here. So you're sort of sitting back into the heels, working the toes in, and then just lean into the hands. So you're getting a really good stretch into the toes. So keeping our knees up and away from the mat at the moment, we're just working into the toes. And then walk your hands back so that you're balancing on your toes now. Maybe just your fingertips are on the mat. See if you can find that balance. So engage your tummy muscles, engage your thighs, relax the shoulders. Maybe you can place your hands on your thighs here, on your knees. So now we're going to test our strength. Taking a breath in, floating the hands out in front of you, come all the way up. Try and stay on your toes. Oh. And then release the heels down to the mat. Well done. Right. Let's have a little tree balance. See how our balance is this morning. So standing up straight and tall, feet hip distance apart. Relax the shoulders. So let's get right before we do anything. Find some softness in the knees. Relax the shoulders. Engage your tummy. Breathing in, lift your right heel and place it on top of your left foot. So start to send the right knee out to the side. We're opening through the hip. Relax the arms alongside the body. Find your drishti, your point of focus. Breathing in, weight into the left foot. Start to slide the foot up the leg, either below the knee or help it to above the knee. You can always stand next to a wall or a chair for a little bit of extra stability, just something to hold on to. Breathe in, just have your hands out in front of you, turn the palms to face forward, so strong arms here, reaching those fingertips away. So they're pointing down towards the floor. As you're doing this, just find that strength, feel really strong. That standing leg. Breathing in, float your hands up and overhead. Breathing out, drawing them out wide, back to where we were. Find that strength. reaching away. So your chest is opening, your shoulder blades are sliding together. So try and have your hands so that they're pointing down to the floor. That's it, rather than out. We're not doing Angel of the North. We're doing reaching the hands down like a tree with branches pointing down towards the floor. Good, strong trees there. And then release. Well done. Just stand for a moment. Notice what's happening with that standing leg. Feel the energy. So let's see if we can get that same feeling into the right leg now. So taking a breath in, weight into the right foot, lift the left heel, place it on top of your right foot as you breathe out. Find your drishti. Breathing in, slide the foot up to below the knee or help it to above the knee. So your palms are facing forward. You're reaching those fingertips down as if they're touching the bottom two corners of the room. Keep breathing. Feel really strong in that right leg. Feel that strength coming all the way up through the body, opening the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Sending that strength all the way up through the crown of the head. Breathing in, reach the hands up and overhead. Breathing out, back to our strong pose. Well done, everyone. Breathing out, release. Fabulous. Lovely, strong trees. Just have a little shrug of the shoulders, little wiggle of the hips and the knees, just to ease everything out. And then come back to the top of the mat. Standing up here, straight and tall. Taking a breath in, reach the hands up and overhead. Take your gaze to your palms. And as you breathe out, drawing the hands all the way through the midline, down to the mat, Uttanasana, forward fold. Plant your hands into the mat as you slightly bend your knees. Breathing in, breathing out. Step your feet back into downward facing dog. So plant your hands here into the mat. And as you breathe in, come up onto your toes, press the toes into the mat. And as you breathe out, send the heels towards the mat. So breathing in, up onto the toes, really pressing the toes into the mat, finding that strength all the way through the backs of the legs. Breathing out, send the heels to the mat. It does work, this. It gets your heels closer. So breathing in once more, up on the toes. Breathing out, heels to the mat. This time as you breathe in, send the weight into your left foot and float your right leg up into the air. As you breathe out, three-legged dog. Point the right toes away from you. Breathe in, draw that right knee up to your chest, send the weight forward, step the foot forward and through. Drop the left knee to the mat. So we're going to come into crescent pose now. And we've got two options. We can do low lunge or high lunge. So I'll just show you it low lunge first of all. So your left toes are into the mat, left knee strong here, legs are tracking one another. Take a breath in, sweep your hands up so the palms are facing each other. Follow that space between the palms as you reach up into crescent pose. There's a mini back bend as you do this. Reaching up to the ceiling. Breathe in, breathe out. Take your hands back to the mat. So you can repeat that with low lunge, or you can straighten your back leg. So a little bit more of a challenge here and a balance. Engage your tummy muscles. So we're up on this back toe. This is what's making it a little bit more of a challenge. So make sure your right foot is really planted. Breathe in, engage that front leg, pressing into the mat, lifting yourself up, crescent pose. Breathe in, breathe out, release down to the mat. So if your back leg is up and away from the mat, yeah, keep it away. Well done. So plant the back foot onto the mat now, as if you're going to do warrior one. So it's 45-degree angle. Start to straighten the right leg. Breathing in. And as you breathe out, just lower your head towards your knee. So find your balance here in this position, because we're going to draw our hands away from the mat in a moment. So send the weight equally between those legs. You engage in your thighs, engage in your hips. Breathing in, breathing out. Release the hands behind you and interlace the fingers. Breathing in, lifting your chest away from the thigh. So you're sending the head out in front of you. Take your hands to your hips. Breathe in, breathe out, lifting up, stepping forward to Tadasana. Very strong in the legs, that one. Stand up straight and tall. Just let everything settle for a moment. Release your hands. So, good news is you just did all that. The bad news is we're going to do it again on the other side. So stand up straight and tall. Breathing in, reach the hands out wide, up and overhead. Breathing out, bring the hands together through the midline all the way down to the mat. Uttanasana, forward fold. Plant your hands into the mat. Bend the knees enough you can step the feet back into downward facing dog. Breathing out here. Breathing in, come up onto those toes. Breathing out, send the heels back to the mat. Breathing in, come up onto the toes. This time, send both heels over to the right-hand side. So track the feet one behind the other as you breathe out. Breathing in, come back to center, lift the heels. Breathing out, track them over towards the left. Breathing in, back to center. Breathing out, plant the heels back onto the mat, down dog. Breathing in, weight into the right leg, breathing out, left leg up into the air, three-legged dog. Breathing in, draw that left knee up to the chest, come up onto your right toes, step the foot forward and through. So take your right knee to the mat. Find that strength in the left foot. Take a breath in, sweep the hands forward, the palms are facing each other. Follow that gap between the hands all the way up as you come to your crescent pose. Gazing through that gap. Breathing in, breathing out. Take the hands all the way back to the mat. So repeat that one, or if you want the added challenge, lift the back leg. So remember, we're up on the toes on the back leg. So find that strength in the left leg here. Check your knees above your ankle. Breathe in, breathe out, engaging the left hip, the left thigh. Bringing yourself up. Crescent pose. Reaching to the ceiling here. Just watching the back of the neck. Breathe in. Breathing out. Come all the way back to the mat with the hands. So drop the right heel into the mat like warrior one, 45-degree angle. Straighten the left leg. Breathe in. Breathe out. Drop the nose towards the left knee. So find the strength in those feet. Balance between the 2 feet. So send some weight back towards the back leg. As you start to release your feet, your hands, your feet, that'd be good. And your hands from the mat and float them behind you. Interlace the fingers. Send them away. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in, lift the chest away from the thigh. Breathing out. Lifting, stepping the right foot to the top of the mat. Oh, that was a tough one. So just have a little breather. Take a breath in. Reaching your hands up and overhead. Dive down to the mat. And release your knees into all fours. Take them wide, toes together, sink back. Child's pose. And get your breath back here. And then breathing in, come up to all fours. So we're going to work towards our archer pose now. So toes into the mat. Take a breath in, lift your knees and your hips. Come to downward facing dog. Taking a breath in as you shift forward, draw the right knee up to the chest. Step it forward and through. So we're going to drop our left heel down into the mat, getting ready for warrior one position. We might need our strap in a minute, so we'll, in fact, yeah, let's get our straps handy. So I'll just interrupt that for a minute to get the strap alongside you, and then come back to your lunge position. So your right foot under your right knee, bend in that knee, Left foot is down in 45-degree angle for warrior one. Take a breath in, reaching the hands up and overhead. Warrior one. Find that warrior one position. Palms are facing each other. Find that strength, that standing balance between the legs. Breathe in. Breathe out. Float the hands in front of you. So we're going to make fists with our hands. We're reaching the fists forward so the arms are really strong here. Your pelvis is facing forward. Tummy muscles are engaged. Breathe in. Draw the left hand all the way along the inside of the right, drawing it back as if you're pulling that bow about to shoot the arrow. Breathing out, send the hand back. So just slowly, we're not shooting it back yet. Breathing it in, drawing it along the inside of the arm. Send that elbow back behind you. Breathing out, send it in front. Right, so if you grab your strap, if you've got a stretchy strap, this is even better. So with your hands, they're still in fists, we're holding the strap. You're going to need to find about the right length between, the two hands as you draw back. So have a little practice. And then bring the hands back in front of you. Strong arms, hands are like fists. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, draw that strap back. So find some tension in that strap. So if it's a stretchy one, it's nice because you're going to really press into that strap and start to feel the shoulders opening as you do this. And then as you breathe out, shoot the hand back. Breathe in. Draw that strap all the way back. Relaxing your shoulders here, lengthening through the neck. Breathe out. Let's do one more. Breathe in. Really find that strength in the arms and the legs. Strong arches. Breathe out. Release. It's called Arkana Dhanurasana. It's a little bit like bow when we say bow pose. Dhanurasana, Arkana Dhanurasana. That's the Sanskrit name. So from our warrior one, just step the foot to the front of the mat. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, step the right leg back. So coming into warrior one position. Standing up straight and tall. Left toes are pointing forward. Right foot is well planted into the mat, 45 degrees. Pelvis is pointing forward. Take a breath in. Sweep the hands up and overhead. Warrior one. So get that weight distribution between the 2 feet. So that you're not loading the front foot, you're not loading the back one. Feel the weight dropping down through the center. Breathe in. Breathing out. Drop the hands in front of you and make fists with your hands. Really strong arms here, reaching out of the shoulders. Breathe in, draw the right hand alongside the left arm out, past the chest, send the elbow back behind you. Breathing out, sending it forward. So feel that there's resistance in the air as you're pulling it back. You're pulling that really strong bow. Feel that right shoulder moving. Send the arm back. Once more, pulling it back. Bending the arm back. Now grab hold of your strap. Let's do the same thing. So make fists around the strap. Get the length about right for you. If it's stretchy, of course, it can be a little bit shorter because you're really going to pull that stretchy strap away. So hands out in front of you. Take a breath in. Breathing out. Draw the right hand back. Send the right elbow behind you. Find that resistance in the strap. Release the hand back to the front. Breathing in, draw it back. This time, let's let it go back with a shoo. And an exhalation. Breathing in, drawing it back. Remembering everything else here. The left knee is not dropping to the side. You're sinking down through the middle. Breathing out, shoo. Once more, breathing in. Breathing out, shoo. Let go of the strap. Step the right foot to the top of the mat. Well done. Take a breath in, reach your hands out wide, up and overhead. Breathing out, hands through the midline, all the way down to the mat. Uttanasana, forward fold. Bend your knees enough so you can plant your hands. And then step your legs back into all fours. Take a breath in here. And as you breathe out, you're going to sit your hips back towards your heels, but you're going to allow the left hip to drop towards the left side of your left foot. So you're sort of sitting a little bit like the Little Mermaid, you know, the one in Copenhagen. So we're sitting slightly to the left. So we've got to draw the side body back up into this straight line. Now, relax the shoulders. So there is a name for this pose. Let me see if I can say it properly. It's another warrior. What's he called? Bharadvaja's twist. So sit up straight and tall, relax the shoulders, breathing in, float the hands up, and then as you breathe out, turn towards your right and take your right hand behind you, left hand towards your right heel. So you're really getting into the twist here. Feel the left hip opening and look over your right shoulder. Bharadvaja's twist. Breathing in, float the hands all the way back up, back to the center. Release the hands alongside you. So use your fingers to help you to come back up to the center and then drop the hips over towards the right. So we're sitting on the right hip. What I should have said, if you find this really uncomfortable, you can take a block and you can put the block on the floor as you drop the hips. So you're basically lifting that side and sitting on the block. Otherwise, if you've got a little bit of flexibility in the size of the hips here, you can sit with the legs out to the side. So find that upright spine, relax the shoulders. Taking a breath in, float the hands up. And as you breathe out, twist to the left. Right hand goes to the right heel of the left heel. Left hand goes behind you. Looking over the shoulder. So it's like the Little Mermaid or the Little Merman. Let's see a Little Merman as well, shall we? That's for you, Pete. Breathing in, float the hands up and overhead, return to the center, release the hands, and just rock back onto your hips and release your legs. Come into Dhanurasana. I'm just going to show you what is also called archer pose from a seated position, and we will need our straps for this because it's quite a tough one. And if you can do it without your strap, I will be amazed. So your left foot, just loop the strap around your left foot and just hold on to the strap for a moment. And then sit up straight and tall here. Bend the right knee and draw the foot towards you. So sort of sit forward onto your hips and encourage the spine to become quite upright. Relax the shoulders. Then you're going to catch hold of your right toes with your right hand. Breathe in, lift the right foot and draw the right knee into your underarm, the right underarm. So you can see now, can't you? You're starting to become like a bow, an arrow. Now, if you're doing the full pose, we're holding on to our left foot with the strap at the moment, but we should be able to reach our left hand to the toes. Well, that's not happening, is it? So this is seated archer pose. Sit up straight and tall. Draw that knee into the armpit. Breathe out, release. So that's something for us to aim for. Let's just do the other side. So loop the strap over the right foot. Just catch hold of it. Breathe in and draw this left foot in towards your left hip. So your left arm is sort of inside the foot here as you take the hand, grab hold of the toes, breathe in, bend in that left knee, dropping the knee into your left underarm. So don't be tempted to round the back here. We're sitting up straight and tall. Send the sole of the foot out in front of you. Breathe in, breathe out. Maybe you can start to shorten that strap a little bit as you pull the arrow back and reach towards your foot. One day we'll get there. Release. There's your homework. Okay, so back to Dhanurasana. Just take your hands behind you, have the fingers pointing forward, and just lean back into the hands. Just squeeze the shoulders together, lift the chest. Take a few breaths here. Keep your feet in Tadasana so your feet are strong. Breathe in. Breathe out. Ease off. Let's do that once more. Just pressing the hands into the mat. Squeeze the shoulders, lift the chest. And this time, if you'd like to, you can just lift your hips a little way away from the mat. Keep breathing. And then release. And then just hug your knees into your chest. Just drop the head forward. And into cosmic egg. Squeeze out the spine. Well done. Send the legs out in front of you. Grab your layers. And we'll just have a few minutes in Shavasana to finish. Come down onto your mat. Just lying out, resting in Shavasana. Your arms alongside your body in a gentle V, arms facing up. Have your feet slightly wider than hip distance apart. Drop your toes out to the side. Just use your breath here. With each exhalation, allow yourself to rest into the mat. And some strong poses today. Breathe into all of those muscles. And as you breathe out, just feel all the tension release. Allow the body to rest into the mat. Just take a moment, noticing where you're holding on to any tension. Breathe it out of the body. Release your face and your forehead, your jaw, your neck and your shoulders. Release your arms, let them feel really heavy with each exhalation. Release the whole of the back body. Feel the spine resting down into the mat. Release the backs of the hips, the backs of the legs, all the way down to your feet. Just give yourself a few moments of silence. Start to bring some awareness back to your body now. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Rotate your wrists and your ankles. With your next inhalation, float your hands up and overhead Do a full body stretch from your fingers to your toes. And as you exhale, just allow the arms to rest on the floor. Inhale and bend your knees. Plant your feet on the floor. And as you exhale, roll over onto your right hand side. And just hug your knees in closer to your chest. Give yourself a push. And just for a moment while you settle there, I'm just going to read you this little quote in honor of International Women's Day, which is actually tomorrow, but we're celebrating women all week. And the quote is, "Here's to strong women. May we know them. May we be them. May we raise them." When you're ready, bringing yourself back up to a seated position. We'll finish with our 3 breaths together. So taking your hands out to the side, breathing in, reaching up, breathing out, hands to the heart center. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Namaste. Hope you enjoyed that.